Hey there, 5/6. This video is a great example of the feelings we have as we're being tempted. In this case, both options were good. One was just better. But often the things we're tempted with are not good. How can we overcome the temptations we face every day? Well, we'll find some great answers from Joseph today in our story. Our scripture reading for today comes from Genesis chapter 39, verses 1 through 6, and then 19 through 23. When Joseph was taken to Egypt by the Ishmaelite traders, he was purchased by Potiphar, an Egyptian officer. Potiphar was captain of the guard for Pharaoh, the king of Egypt. The Lord was with Joseph, so he succeeded in everything he did as he served in the home of his Egyptian master. Potiphar noticed this and realized that the Lord was with Joseph, giving him success in everything he did. This pleased Potiphar, so he soon made Joseph his personal attendant. He put him in charge of his entire household and everything he owned. From the day Joseph was put in charge of his master's household and property, the Lord began to bless Potiphar's household for Joseph's sake. All his household affairs ran smoothly, and his crops and livestock flourished. So Potiphar gave Joseph complete administrative responsibility over everything that he owned. With Joseph there, he didn't worry about a thing except what kind of food to eat. Now, Joseph was a very handsome and well-built young man. Potiphar was furious when he heard his wife's story about how Joseph had treated her. So he took Joseph and threw him into the prison where the king's prisoners were held, and there he remained. But the Lord was with Joseph in the prison and showed him his faithful love. And the Lord made Joseph a favorite with the prison warden. Before long, the warden put Joseph in charge of all of the other prisoners and over everything that happened in the prison. The warden had no more worries because Joseph took care of everything. The Lord was with him and caused everything he did to succeed. So let's see how we can, with God's help, avoid temptation. That brings me to my first point. Don't let your circumstances keep you from doing your best. Joseph didn't like his situation. I mean, who would? He'd been sold into slavery by his own brothers, but Joseph made the best of the situation and found favor in his master's eyes. He was so trusted that Potiphar entrusted everything he owned to Joseph, who was a mere slave. Now, what would it look like if you worked hard to make sure people could trust you completely? Brings me to my next point. Avoid situations that can get you in trouble. The most important thing to notice here is that Joseph refused to be in a tempting situation. He knew that was the best way to stay strong and do the right thing. We often have the problem. The more we're exposed to temptation, the harder it can be to fight it. Do you remember those kids from our video? They had to sit there and stare at the marshmallow. Of course it can become more tempting. So we need to do what Joseph did. Just stay away. As much as is possible, we should avoid the temptations that plague us. It brings me to my next point. It's okay to flee from temptation. Sometimes, no matter how hard we try, we're faced with temptation. But Joseph did something incredibly unexpected. He ran away. What sounds cowardly is actually the bravest thing he could do. He was falsely accused and ended up going to jail, but he still did the right thing, and the Lord was still with him. all I got for today, 5-6. See you again soon.